Ooh. Sometimes you gotta manually reach over and turn on the camera with your fingers. What's up, everybody? What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. It's Monday. It's President's Day, which means most of y'all got the Monday off here in the U.S. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people with the day off today, as evidenced by all of the people driving on the road. It was crazy. Supposed to be home. We were supposed to be home, you guys. We were supposed to be home back here between 12:30 and 1 o'clock and did not make it home until 2:30. So a little bit crazy, a little bit hectic, a little bit wild, a little bit white knuckling on the old freeway out there, but lots of people out there must have had a glorious weekend, and I hope you had a glorious weekend also. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I had a fantastic weekend, as did the glorious daughter right there, and Victoria came with also. If anybody, I guess, stalks me on Facebook or whatever you want to call it, any of those lurkers out there, or on the old Instagram, I did post a picture of Victoria and Olivia on there, where we were gone over the weekend. We went down to Portland, Oregon. We live in Washington. To those of you that know or don't know, we live in Washington State in the United States, and we drove right on down to Portland, Oregon, to visit some awesome peoples. You know what I'm saying? Some peoples, some humans. That's mainly why we went down there. Got to see Petite Bro and Sarah. Fantastic. So totally good to see them. Got to see Andrew and Ashley. Totally awesome. Great to see them. And got to see Dan. And, oh, crap. I had this all in my head, and now I've lost it. Danikin. I got to see Danny and Ken. Gosh, I don't know why. With the Danikin Aquatics, it just gets lost in my head. I don't know how. It's like a dyslexic thing or whatever. But I got to see Danielle and Ken of Danikin Aquatics also, and got to interview them. I got to interview the president of the Greater Portland Aquarium Society. Also interviewed Ashley, a.k.a. Aquaret, and I interviewed Andrew of Aquascapes OR, right? So we got all those interviews in. We got all those interviews in the books. We got those recorded. We recordified them with our technology. We utilized our technology. And Natural Aquarium says Ken at Danikin Aquatics. Yes, Ken and Danny. Yes, I interviewed them both. And for whatever reason, I just... Their names like somehow just get inverted and messed up in my head. I don't know. It's bizarro. But either way, got all those interviews in the books. We'll see how long it takes to edit them. But we got those done. I was going to do a fish store tour while I was down there, but I ended up deciding not to. It just it seemed like like they didn't want it to happen, and I wasn't gonna force it, and that kind of stuff. So, and I figure, one of those things is like, I don't want to force somebody to be like, let me advertise your retail, right? And it just seemed like it was gonna kind of be forcing it, and making calls and making sure it was cool or not. And the day that I was there, it was super busy in the store, so it was going to probably inconvenience customers, and that's the last thing I want to do with any store tour is like, I don't want people's customers to get weirded out by dude running around with cameras and all that kind of stuff. So if it had worked out better, I probably would have been happy to shoot that and edit a video for you guys, but we just didn't do that. It seemed like it was just going to be too forced of a thing to do. So, but the main thing was to get those interviews done. I wanted to get them in the books. I had some other people cancel. I'm not going to say who it was that canceled or anything like that. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just saying I had some people cancel. They got busy or weren't feeling well, that kind of stuff. And, no worries, because it's only 140 miles or something like that to drive down there. But that's not a big deal. It's all good, and it was a lot of fun. But, Portland is weird. If you guys have never been to Portland, Oregon, driving around in Portland, Oregon is a little bit crazy when it's like just sunny out. Most of the time we were there, it was just torrential downpour rain, so it was a little bit squirrely trying to drive around in old Portland down there, trying to figure out like where are we going? Oh, the road goes up here over a bridge, and then you do a bridge and all that kind of stuff, and just get a little bit crazy, from time to time. And but yeah, so that was fun. Food always good in Portland. People always nice in Portland. So was fantastic, and we definitely had a good time. Now, the topic I had is a road trip for aquarium supplies, because I realize that there is a large portion of the U.S., Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, probably Africa, I don't know, Australia, New Zealand, Antarctica, the North Pole, all of the places in the world, and we really just have to, sometimes we have to like either drive really far or we have to take a shot in the dark and hopefully order something that's going to show up in the mail. I'm realizing that because, for lack of a better way to put it, I wanted to get some ADA products. I don't know if you guys are familiar with ADA, if you guys know, if you're familiar with Takashi Amano's company. It's one of the biggest aquascaping companies in the world. Definitely the most famous. What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know. Somebody has sent me something. Oh, okay. So somebody's... How does this... we're not connected on Facebook. How does this work? All right, I'm just going to give him a thumbs up. Okay, there we go. All right. Anyhow, sorry about that. I was wondering what that message was that came through. But I wanted to get my hands on some ADA products, and even where I live in Tacoma, Washington, which is actually very close to... there's fish stores around. There's a lot of people living around here. I mean, come on. There's like almost 10 million people living in my state here. It's not like we don't have any kind of population or metropolis or freeways or roads or infrastructure or any of that kind of stuff. We have all that. We have a ton of people. And yet, let's say I wanted to get some ADA soil and I just wanted to get it today. I have to drive from where I live all the way up to Bellevue, which, if anybody knows what Bellevue is, that's where, essentially, I'll put it this way, Microsoft headquarters is really close to Bellevue, and it's blown up into this big, it's where all the rich people live, basically. And it's a little bit of a nightmare to get up there. It's difficult to drive up there and go into the downtown and, like, go buy some aqua soil, right? Which is just a huge burden to me, as far as I'm concerned, to anybody who's like trying to kind of just get into the hobby, get their hands on the products and stuff like that. Obviously, online has super helped out with being able to order a lot of stuff online, but there's definitely times where I want to go like mess around with the actual product, like, okay, here, I've got some tiny tweezers here. These aren't for aquascaping, but let's say I wanted to get some like aquascaping tools or something like that, because I wanted to get some ADA, some of the tweezers that are the bent ones, because I almost always use the bent tweezers, and I really wanted to just kind of like pick them up, try them out a little bit, because they're like $1 million. I mean, obviously they're not that much, but they're like $80. And, so I wanted to try some of those out before we kind of like mess around with it. And Natural Aquarium saying, doesn't Aquarium Zen sell that stuff? They sell some of that. They sell some Aquasoil and stuff like that, but Steve has such inconsistent hours as far as I'm concerned. Like, I've driven specifically up to Aquarium Zen. Like, I had driven there like 3 or 4 different times. Out of the like 10 times I went there, 3 or 4 of the times he was just not open. So that's not something that I can endorse out of any business. If I wanted to go get a cheeseburger and they just were not open, I'm probably not going to go back, right? Because I'm like, I don't know if I drive over there, they're going to be open. So, I think Aquarium Zen probably carries some of that stuff. I don't think they carry the tools or any of that kind of stuff, but, he definitely does have a cool store and a bunch of stuff there, but I just a personal, it's more or less just like a personal review. It's not like a professional review of the place or anything, but I definitely have gone there and they just were not open for, and if it happened like one time, I would have been like, all right, not a big deal, but it happened a bunch of times. And just as a human, I'm like, I want to go into your, you know what I'm saying? So I think if I was going to get ADA stuff, I'd probably just go up to Bellevue. It's the same drive too, from where I live. Like, I just either have to go like this way or I have to go like a little diagonally, I just have to like go that way. It's just at one point in time, like the road splits like this and you either just stay and go that direction or you go off to the right. It's basically the same amount of distance, as far as I'm concerned. And there's an ADA store in Bellevue. I forget the name of it. I don't even know what the name of that store is, but if I wanted to, I could go there. But it's like, I don't understand, like, how people could like regularly do this on a regular basis if you need to like road trip to go get supplies. And that was the thing that was kind of getting to me because, I hear from a lot of people in the Midwest or, Texas or wherever that, it's like, oh, well, I have the same problem as you. Like, if I wanted to get this one thing, I got to drive like 50 miles to go over there because I wanted to get a killifish and I didn't want to want it to get shipped, So I'm not sure what the future is going to look like, but are we going to, at some point in time, get some more stores that are kind of focused on what the hobby is versus just the retail stores? Because I see, like, there's like Petco, PetSmart, all that kind of stuff, but, I'm wondering, like, because I was driving around Portland and it was in my head that, because I kept seeing like strange businesses. I saw a watch repair store that was like probably 2,000 square foot space. I saw a vacuum store that was like vacuum and vacuum repair. It looked to be about like a 4,000 square foot business that's like vacuum repair. And, Vicky and I were talking about it quite a bit. And she was like, well, if you're going to get your vacuum repaired, or if your vacuum's broken, it's much cheaper to get like a good vacuum fixed. But I wouldn't say that like I'm a vacuum connoisseur. The last few times that I bought a vacuum, I bought like a Dust Devil or something from like Fred Meyer's. And I was talking with Vicky about it. I was like, last time I bought a vacuum, I had a coupon and it was $60. And I can't imagine that like anybody would be able to repair a vacuum for less than that, because what's it going to take? Like a couple of hours to probably fix it or whatever. But, of course she started talking to me about like, There's like $2,000 vacuums and stuff, which I'm just like, I don't even understand. You get a $2,000 vacuum, you should probably just remodel your house because you're starting to run into just go purchase new flooring, right? Like maybe just get new carpet. So anyhow, so the point of the topic of the video was, or of today's live stream was, so we drove all the way down there. So I ended up getting a whole case of Amazonia while I was in Portland because the price was right. So it's cheaper than online. And by the way, in Oregon, you don't have to pay sales tax. They have zero sales tax whatsoever there. So that's like a 10% savings too on top of it. So whether that's worth it or not, I don't know. But we were going there anyhow. So I figure I'm definitely going to buy some stuff while I was down there. And I had set some money aside to buy some stuff. And I realized like the thing that I needed to buy was like more aqua soil. And one of the reasons that I had to buy some ADA is there's a slight difference between the Fluval stratum and the ADA, and it turns out it's ammonium is the big difference, which is basically like a chelated version of ammonia. It's there at the beginning of the cycle, so you set up a brand new tank and you add nothing but Fluval stratum, you're kind of missing that ammonium. So what I was going to do is get some of the ADA sells this stuff. It's called power sand. So it's like this volcanic chunky rock stuff, and that's what you use to build the if you want to build up an area with more height and you want to build up that kind of mound. Typically what you do is you add that power sand underneath it to kind of build it up because it's chunky lava rock with secret ingredients mixed into it, right? And I'm pretty heavy on the saying it's secret ingredients. It's basically fertilizer. It's basically like time-release fertilizer and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, my plan when I go to Portland is to get a couple bags of that power sand. Boom, I'll be able to finish off one of the aquascapes that I'm working on right now because I have this giant hill in the back of this tank that I'm working on right now that I needed to have to build up that bulk. The funny thing is, like Andrew and I were there and we're kind of doing the math. It's like I might as well just buy aqua soil because of the volume of the power sand versus the aqua soil. So the aqua soil was... let's see. So the aqua soil was like 60% of the price of a bag of the power sand, but 3 liters more in volume. So then I was like, okay, wait a minute. Let me do the math here. So let me give you some base numbers to work off. So let's say the power sand was like $80 and the aqua soil was $60. Let's just use those round numbers. That's not the accurate price, but let's just use the round numbers for the example. But the aqua soil was 9-liter bag versus the power sand, which is a 7-liter bag. And I was like, wait a minute. So I could actually just buy aqua soil, which I'll definitely be able to use later. I'm definitely not going to use it all up. But I could use that to amend the stratum and build up my giant hill. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. So I ended up going that route. It ended up working out. And so I just ended up buying a case of it because, no sales tax, that kind of stuff. It just worked out that I was like, oh, I'm going to save some money. I'd put some money aside to like possibly buy some plants or some aquascape materials like rock or this or that or the other thing. But all the places that I went to didn't have any hardscape stuff that was like better than what I already had. And they definitely didn't have any rock that I didn't already have. So I was kind of at the point where I was like, all right, let me figure out what I need to finish a project and then go that route. U.S. citizens saying, why don't you use lava split? I'm guessing I'm guessing you say lava rock would be the guess. I used to do lava rock to build up my my high hills, and the reality with that is that lava rock is super sharp and pointy, so it's gritty. It grinds on stuff, and it grinds on whatever aqua soil you use with it, right? So it does that, and then B, it gets all mixed in with what you got as far as your substrate goes, and it's sort of like, it makes whatever it is, that's the only thing you're ever really going to be able to do with it. You're never going to be able to like take all that aqua soil out and use it for something else, which I find to be a really big deal for me, because I have totes that, you know, if I break down a tank, I'll drain it all out, and then I'll put all the aqua soil into a tote. I'll allow it to dry, and then I can put a lid on it and put it and store it for later. Now that might not work out for certain people that don't have space, but I have an above area in my shop out there that I just put that kind of stuff up there and then go, all right, I can use that later, and I have it kind of saved up, because, you know, substrate, rocks, that kind of stuff is really a big cost that is never going to become anything more, right? So let's say I buy a plant for $20, and it's kind of a drag because you're like, man, that's an expensive plant, $20. Oh, but I can grow and propagate that plant and then have more of it and most likely offset the cost. Whereas substrate, soil, that kind of stuff, you're never gonna have more of it. So I like to preserve it as well as I can, and lava rock made that not happen. And most of the lava rock that you can buy at like whatever hardware store or Rock Yard or wherever you're going is actually it's almost like volcanic glass pretty much. So it breaks up. It's not really bringing a lot of benefit because it does have like pores in it and stuff, but it's not really doing what you want it to do. It doesn't have the surface area that you want. You want that lava rock with the really fine pores and stuff in it, and you normally can't get that like at a Rock Yard or something like that. So it basically takes something that you spend a lot of money on, breaks it down, and then you're never able to do anything with it again because it just gets completely mixed in and it just turns into a crazy mess. And I'm not a big fan of that personally. You know, I'm of the ilk that I want to save whatever has value, be able to reuse it for as long as possible. For instance, like I was gonna say 400 gallon, but it wasn't a 400 gallon tank. It was a 380 gallon tank. So 380 gallon tank that I did a bunch of lava rock and that kind of stuff, and it really, like, you know, the reality is that it really didn't work out well, and then I really wasn't able to save that much from that substrate and stuff. So I just kind of used that as a prime example in my head of going like, yeah, you know, I'm just not seeing the value from this lava rock in particular, and I've utilized some lava rock that's much finer pore as compared to the other kinds, but it's super hard to find that. It's super hard to find that kind and make it available. Sam Malone says, no super chats. It won't let me. I don't know. I don't have super chats like turned off or anything like that, so I don't have an answer for that. Kiwi Mamo says, I was told to use bags of lava rock under substrate to build height. I don't anymore. And you guys will see a detailed video on how I build them up in the not too distant future. That should be coming up fairly soon. It's been a long video I've been working on to kind of make sure I detail like all of the steps, so you guys will be able to check that out. And you know, with work being busy and all that kind of stuff, it's been taking longer than I had anticipated, but I think it'll be worth the wait, you know. Let's see. Natural Aquarium says, I just set up a new 20 long with 88 Amazonia. Sounds like I should have bought it from the wet spot and not from Bezos. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know where you got it. Don't know where you got it, but yeah, you could. The Wet Spot has ADA Amazonia. They have Flu Ball Stratum. They have a whole bunch of stuff there. So you definitely a store I recommend going to for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Where was it? There was a question here I wanted to answer. Oh, this JH Aquatics. What's up, man? I hope you're well too. Yeah, it's good to see you. Everyone hit the like button. That's right. We got to hit the like button. I don't know. Super chat must be broken. I don't know. Sam keeps saying that it's broken, but the like button's working. So, hey, let's do that. Why not? Oh, that's a good tip from Sam. Says, found my algae issue through the planted tank. Need 3 parts per million phosphate instead of 1. Yeah, phosphate's one that you will definitely find a lot of people deficient in phosphate quite often. That's definitely one that comes up very, very, very often. Scott Schatz is here. It's been a long while since he caught up on a live stream. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Good to see you. I got to keep my coffee going here because that was not a long distance drive, but it just took a long time. John Gonzalez got an angel fish in bad shape. I've tried lots of meds. He's now in a salt quarantine tank. I don't think he's going to make it. I've done everything I could. It's an unfortunate thing is if you do everything you can with an animal, that just really is the best that you can do because they don't speak English or any language realistically. If you're honestly trying, some fish are not destined to make it. So, remember, don't beat yourself up if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're really, you know that you're doing the best that you can and you're really doing what you're supposed to be doing, then, I would imagine, there's just no reason to get down on yourself. It's just some of the fish and shrimp and that kind of stuff, they're just not destined for a long life, and they can't really tell you what's going on. So if you're doing what you can and it's working out, then keep going. Don't beat yourself up for something that you don't need to be doing. We all have enough sad feelings in our days. We don't got to freak out about our fish or whatever. It is sad if they pass away, but if you're doing what you're doing and you're doing the right thing, then keep going that way. Sam says, I don't know, guys. I'm trying, I promise. Because Randall Bowman with a $5 super chat says, test 1, 2, testing, and the zombie drummer with the $2 super chat for the testing. Thanks, guys. Apparently super chat works. Maybe Sam's is broken. I don't know. But you could always become a member because let's see where we're at now. 77. We're at 77 members on the old YouTubes here. And I do have to change the number here on Patreon because it went up. Oh, hold on. Let me check. It went back up. A couple of people fixed their credit cards. They had to change their credit card number, so it had dropped down. It was back up to 244 and 77 members. We're still shy of 100 on the YouTube's members. We're still shy on the YouTube's members. We're getting closer and closer, and then we go up, and then we go down, and hey, that's life. It's all good. Very much appreciate it, but we're at 77, and we got to legit shout out all 77 now. Here we go. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have the list. I think there's a list right here. It would take a while to read through. I've done it before, that kind of stuff, and I think it makes people lose their mind. Let's see. Let's give a shout-out to who... I'm going to give a shout-out to who's been a member for coming up on 1 year, because I got to give some new badges coming out pretty soon. James Leiser, Jesse Cadell, The Fish Tank Barn, Jason R., John Gilman, Preston John, The Fishy Mailman, Aquarium Co-op, Alyssa Bentley, Daryl Dimer, Swift Aquarium, Shelby Ray, Grassy Peak, The Zombie Drummer, and Josh Peters. Those are our people that have been members for 1 year. Very much appreciate that kind of that. You know, you can't be like, oh, those people aren't supporting. They've just been supportive for a whole entire year. Thank you guys. So we're up to 77, and that's rad. Let's see. There we go. A $5 super chat from Sam. Apparently got it to work. Okay, there we go. Natural Aquarium got you. Pipette to squirt the brine of bloodworms, whatever you choose toward the loaches. What's going on? That's going kind of back and forth, isn't it? I don't have an issue with flow, but just got my 50 white clouds. Okay, you guys have a conversation going back and forth, and I'm not sure what it's about. Natural Aquarium, what do you feed it, or how do you ensure food gets to a small dojo loach? Oh, okay. That actually is a good point. Sometimes you have to target feed, and target feeding isn't as popular in freshwater as it is in saltwater. I'm telling you, like, saltwater is legit. Saltwater is legit. A lot of people are target feeding like crazy in the saltwater aquarium. I mean, you'll target feed coral. You know what I'm saying? There's like coral that doesn't move around, anemones that don't move, that do move around, but target feeding is big time in saltwater. Reef keeping, that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to specifically feed something, I personally would look into, I would look into target feeding and reef keeping. Maybe I would look that up, and you can get some real simple and cheap solutions for target feeding in freshwater that would just relate right over to exactly what you're doing. But a lot of it boils down to tweezers, pipettes. Like, think of like a tiny turkey baster, that kind of stuff. All very simple, and definitely something that you can employ if you have like a community tank and you're finding it difficult to feed specific fish. I would definitely look into target feeding and probably kind of go that route until you can grow them up. And that's more often than not what I've had to deal with in my past is that. You have some young fish, some baby fish, that kind of stuff that aren't getting the food because most of the adult fish are swarming around and eating it all up, and nothing's really making it down there to the either the juveniles or the fish fry. They aren't getting anything either. But so I would definitely go that route and check it out. And Select Pet says, when the fish is so expensive and the food is so expensive, you got to make sure as much food gets in as many mouths as you can. That is a good point, yeah. It is not rare in the reef hobby to be dealing with a $300 fish, a $600 fish, that kind of stuff. It's not uncommon. Mr. Exquisite is asking, speaking of saltwater tanks, how's your saltwater tank doing? It's just marinating. All the fish and coral are fine. Way too much algae in that tank at this point, but it's nothing that's making it unhealthy. If I had to wager, phosphates are probably pretty high right now, but I did a maintenance water change on it the other day, and I'm going to be bagging up all the fish and stuff and breaking it down and passing that on very soon. So I'm just kind of enjoying it while I still have it, and I'm going to likely sell off all the equipment and probably just adopt out the fish. Like, I'll probably just I have a really good fish store just south of me here that they'll take care of them and stuff, because I've been trying to get somebody, the local saltwater groups, like, try to get somebody to adopt all the fish too, but it is turning into, one person wants to come by on a midnight on Sunday and pick up one of the fish, and that whole situation is just not working for me. They're trying to schedule people to come get one of the fish. I'm like, somebody come take them all, and they're like, no, I just want the 6-line wrasse. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to pull out all of the live rock out of a 60-gallon cube that is just full of live rock, by the way. And catch just the wrasse then put everything back in so that somebody could come by at whatever convenient time it is for them. And it's not working out. So I'm gonna bag everybody up and drop them by the local store and just, they'll quarantine them and sell them off to somebody who's excited to have them. So, I don't know anybody that has a reef around here that's really excited to just get some free fish. It's a little bit weird, but that's where I'm at right now. And likely, I'll just sell off the excess equipment that I have. I'll probably save my skimmer. I'm probably going to save my skimmer. I'll probably just clean that and put it into storage just in case, right? So, I'll just be passing it on, that kind of deal. Although then again, I could probably just talk to the fish store guys and be like, hey, if somebody, maybe you have a cool, maybe if you have a cool whatever, then a cool customer, and you maybe just hook it up. There's Bracken says, I'll take any coral you have. Yeah, you could scoop up like my flower nem, and I have a candy cane coral and a couple other things in there still. I sold off some of the coral and things, so yeah. Let's see. Catch the rest of the show on the replay from the Zombie Drummer. Oh man, what's up? And I see Danikin Aquatics. What's up? Good to see you again. I saw you this weekend. Can't wait to sit down and edit some of that footage. It's going to take a while, though. I don't know when it's going to happen. Let's see. I think I'm kind of caught up with the chat here a little bit. Let me scroll back. Sam Malone with the $5 super chat. Let's see. John Albernaz says, I heard that Lucas R. Bretz is selling everything and moving to Virginia Island. I have no idea. I haven't heard from Lucas in quite a while. Actually, I haven't heard from him. I don't think there's any problems. I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him, so I don't know. And I don't know. But he posts a lot of videos, so my guess would be if you watch some of his videos or something, he's probably either talking about it or not. I don't know. And somebody says not selling it all, but yes, he's moving the whole operation. Okay, well, I guess I cannot imagine moving 300 aquariums anywhere. I wouldn't do that. I personally would not do that. I personally would just sell everything off if I was moving however far. Let's just say you were moving 200 miles away. I would sell everything off and do a build out at the new location and go that route. I have my 120s and the 240 and all that kind of stuff. Those are all acrylic tanks. So I would probably break those down again. I definitely won't move the stands ever again. But I would probably break those down, move them that way. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I wouldn't plan on moving a bunch of glass tanks or any of that kind of stuff all around. I mean, considering the cost, because I think if you were going to buy, like, let's say you were going to buy 100 30-gallon glass tanks or something, right? Most every company that you would get those from would cut you a good deal. Plus, they would ship them all at the same time, all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do with glass tanks. That's what I would do. Maybe not acrylics, but I would personally, like, if I was making a giant move and I had like a business that let's say I had like Aquarium Co-op's like plant grow business or something, or plant shipping business or something, and I was going to relocate it. We literally did that, and we just built out the whole new space. Well, I built out the whole new space, and then everything just moved over in one day, because all the new employees just came in and started working. Basically, it it wasn't unimaginably smooth like I just made it sound like, but yeah, it was couple months of really hard work. Doing the whole build out, putting in all the tanks. But we literally just ordered all the new tanks, had them all dropped off there. And yes, it was costly, but it's all part of like running a business. Like if you're gonna move a business, you gotta figure out like what business you're gonna move. And what it's going to cost to move the business and plan it out. Like every business needs planning. Every business needs planning. Every business needs preparation, purchasing, budgeting. You need to do all that kind of stuff, and that would be my recommendation to anybody out there. If you're going to have a business plan. Plan for the plan for the plan, and plan for the problems. And if you don't have any problems, cool. But if you do run into problems, at least you have some kind of idea of how you were going to deal with it and stuff. So, but if I was going to move a business like that, that's how I would accomplish it. You want to do the build out at the new location and try to seamlessly move everything. You're going to move hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plants. That's still dangerous in its own right. Like you could probably end up losing a lot of stuff, moving all those things. If you're going to move that many fish, like if you're going to move, like let's say we took all of the fish from the Aquarium Co-op, who is a sponsor of the show, by the way. So shout out to Aquarium Co-op, for sponsoring, right? And let's say I was going to move all of the fish from the Aquarium Co-op to a new Aquarium Co-op location, like all those betas, all the community fish that they have, the giant puffer, Murphy. Like if you wanted to move all that stuff, you want to be able to take it somewhere and put it in a place that is its healthy place where it needs to be, not just, I've got a bunch of stuff in totes and trash cans and stuff all over the place. You'd want to be able to move that stuff and have it land, get in a tank, get ready to go. So that's personally how I would do it if I was going to be doing that. But I don't know. An old Japanese saying, the man with no problems is the man in the most trouble. That's right. A man with no notebook and no plans is in monumental trouble coming. What is it? Barney Rubble, right? Out there in the Barney, right? Because it's trouble. Barney Rubble. Barney, right? Yeah, something like that. Hey, Punchy, just finished watching your awesome video on your artwork. It is stunning and beautiful. I have not seen that yet. Somebody shared the link with me not long enough ago that I would have been able to watch it. So I'm going to watch it. I don't know when, but haven't checked that out. Petslow probably isn't in the Virgin Islands, and if it is, it's not. Or Petco is probably isn't in the Virgin Islands, and if it's not, it's $1 a gallon. Do people think that Lucas is moving to the Virgin Islands? Maybe he is. I don't know. I know JH Aquatics is moving from the Virgin Islands to the mainland. Maryland? Virginia? Something like that. I don't know. So that's moving, but I don't know about Lucas. I know JH Aquatics is specifically moving from the Virgin Islands up stateside because Big City Betas is constantly posting about the new fish room that's getting set up and stuff. So I look forward to seeing those projects, those videos, that kind of stuff. But I don't know when that's happening. I wish I kind of knew a specific thing when that was happening, but last time I was listening to JH, he said he was going to be, what was it? He said he was going to be helping open up and start a restaurant and get their menu and all that stuff done. So that's probably 2 months, 60 days, 90 days, something like that. So whenever that's done, I suppose, which I can't blame him for that. Consulting on a restaurant is pretty darn good money. If you're getting those consultants fees. So if you're getting consulting fees, I'd highly recommend anybody stay and do that job and finish it out. And especially Joseph, because he knows what he's doing. So that would be a good deal for him. Oh, okay. Zen Ginger says, yeah, he's planning on going after he visited JH. Yeah, JH Aquatics is going to Vermont. That's right. Not Virginia or Maryland, but Vermont. Not New Hampshire, Vermont. Got it. Oh, we got a $5 super chat from the Fish Tank Barn. Mike question. Any idea why my Rode NT USB mic is giving static? I changed the USB cord and still no luck. I think the mic is toast. The Rode NT is not a microphone I recommend people to get. That Rode NT is a decent microphone, but I typically recommend people to get the at that price range to get the Blue Yeti is the one that I would definitely recommend. And the reason for that is those things are pretty much problem free. They're pretty much bulletproof, and they really don't have, or they have the features that the Rode mic does too. But a lot of people I know have had issues with the Rode now, or the Rode NT specifically, which is their USB condenser mic. And it has been issues like this, like having static, like crazy pop, weird things. And I'm not sure if it's a part of the production process or not. But at that price point, I almost always recommend people to get the Yeti. And the reason for that is the Yeti is just it's like bulletproof. That thing, you can't screw them up. But if there's an issue with the Rode mic, as far as I know, they have really good warranty service and that kind of stuff. So I would definitely hit up their warranty service and see what the deal is if you can't ship it back in or something like that. That would be my main recommendation. But yeah, I went round and round with that Rode mic, and I talked to enough people that are in actual production and testing a lot of units. So I would see. I forget. Does the Rode have a monitor for headphones? Yes, it does. Okay, I'm looking at a picture of it right now. So what I would do is I would test that microphone into your computer, see if it has the static. I would test via the headphone jack to see if it has the static also. If you're getting static on both, there's something wrong with the capsules in it, or possibly the soldering points from the capsules to the processing board on there. So that's kind of the route that I would go, is I would see if it's actually the USB output or if it's the mic itself, because if you're getting static from both points, that means that's going to be the capsule or probably solder points or something somewhere is failing. So that's the route that I would go. And if that's the case, then you're in a warranty situation. As you said, you changed the USB cord. I would continue to change the USB cord, because the USB cords are so cheap. You should have a bunch of them lying around. I'd try a couple other ones just to make sure. I would check the USB input on your computer, so I would change it to a different input and go that route. And then also hook up the headphones. And if you're getting static from both of the headphone jack and that, then there's something wrong with the whole unit. Whoa, we got a $20 super chat from Danikin Aquatics. It says, thanks for yesterday. It was a blast. Yeah, I tried to fit it in as best I could. We had to go over early, and I know a lot of people aren't morning people and stuff. But we did have Olivia with us So it was a little bit difficult to kind of schedule some things, but it was great to get some initial contact, some interview, and that kind of stuff, and get some videos around. Their house has a lot of tanks, you guys. So really cool place, and I hope to be back and work on some more projects, especially with people that are enthusiastic about fish keeping, about community, about building bridges, as opposed to, there are a lot of people I come in contact with that are just not about it. They're not about building bridges and stuff like that. But it's awesome to see people that are actually doing what they're doing, or they're doing what they're saying they're doing. They're doing what they say what they do. That kind of, that whole thing. So Daniken Aquatics, I definitely recommend to check them out, because it's definitely worthwhile, good times, and they're just down to earth people, so definitely worthwhile. Oh, Zen Ginger's just checking to see if the stickers are working too. So a $4 Cup of Joe sticker. I think that's a Cup of Joe sticker. I'm not sure, but thank you very much. But Danny and Ken, definitely great hosts. Thanks for dealing with my wacky scheduling and stuff like that, trying to figure it out. It's hard when you blow into town and you're trying to do stuff with fish people, and not knowing the layout of the land, because it really is difficult to try and go to somebody's fish room and just film it and be like, oh man, we'll be there for 45 minutes, right? It never works out that way. It's something that does take a bunch of time. It's something that takes a bunch of time to get to know somebody's fish room, figure out where like weird light sources are coming in. Because I literally have a window like right over here. You would never imagine that there's a window over there, right? But there's a window right there that has light coming in it. And I had to figure out like where that light was going to go, where the direction of that light was going to go. Am I going to end up with reflections on things when I'm trying to do, product photography or whatever the heck I'm doing? And the thing is, with fish tanks, they have so many points of reflection, because it is a hard reflective surface. So we end up with there's a lot of things to kind of figure out. There's also like, what fish do you have here? What plants do you have here? Let me look at your filtration. Let me figure out what's going on. And then also like getting to meet people the first time you meet them. It's incredibly, it's just like when you meet anybody else for the first time. It's like, oh, do I know this person? Do I know what's going on? Like, are they cool with this? They cool with that? And it definitely takes a lot of time to try and, make something that's better than just, shooting a video, like walking around with a camera and there's reflections and all that kind of stuff. And, that's more of the work that I'm trying to do, So even having gone to the Netherlands was a perfect example of like learning the layout, getting to meet some of the people, that the next time I go back is more than likely going to have better and better content coming out of it, because I know exactly what I need to have equipment wise. I already have like a really good idea of questions and a story and a thing that I want to do when I go there next time. And so that's really what my big focus is too, is also to like try and figure out, what stories I'm trying to tell, what kind of information I'm trying to pass on to people. In the world of YouTube, they call it evergreen content. It's a kind of content, the kind of content that provides value regardless of what year it is, right? So, like the news would be the opposite, right? So it's like, today on the I-5, there was a car crash and there's a traffic jam right now. In a couple of hours, that video isn't going to have very much value for anybody, right? Is that because they're going to be like, oh, is there a traffic jam now? No? There's no car crash now? Oh, they cleaned it up. There's no car crash now? Oh, well, I didn't need to know that there was a traffic jam 8 hours ago, right? Whereas, let's say you do a detailed video on anoxic bacteria versus aerobic, or anoxic filtration versus aerobic filtration, right? that would have value 5 years from now if somebody comes in to watch it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm working on developing more and more of, things that are just literally, that thing can just sit there and give value to people that are like looking for at least an idea or whatever they're trying to do. Moonstone has come in and forced my hand to change the number on the membership to 78. And I don't know how to say members in Spanish. So 78 members. I'll have to figure that out. I will admit my deficiency of not knowing how to say members in Spanish. But thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. That gets us one member closer to our goal of 100 members. And very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all the members. I even did a little shout out to all the members earlier. MD Fish Tank says, I've given up and just accepted the reflections. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own thing, and dude, MD is doing great. So you're doing great on YouTube. You're getting tons of traction. Your videos are entertaining and good. I mean, it's just good content. You got your own style of things that you're doing, and which is great. Like, so we need more people to do certain things that they're trying to do. And I'm just trying to like go the route. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to go the route of just increasing my skill set and trying to get better at what I'm doing, right? Specifically what I'm doing and what I'm super interested in. And, I'm not that great at vlogging. I'm not that great at like, hey guys, Scooby-Doo. Like, I'm just not good at it. So I am figuring out how to set up a better studio. I bet, as you guys could tell, as I have guests and stuff, I have other studio spaces kind of set up down here. So I'm changing how things operate on my channel, but you guys won't really know unless you actually watch this live stream. You won't really know that's kind of what I'm focused on. But hey, there's 100 people watching right now, so why not, right? Why not gab about it a little bit, because it's not really spoiling it for anybody, because it's just my plan to make more evergreen content, right? That's just kind of what I want to just have out there, and make more of the things that really kind of what I want to do, So someday I'll have built some kind of encyclopedia or whatever. Or maybe Jeff Bezos will decide to sponsor the show, right? I mean, come on. We're both local here, right? Come on, Bezos. Let's do this thing. Sponsor the show, and we'll make an Amazon show, right? He owns Amazon. Holy crap. They have Amazon Prime Video. We get Bezos. Where the hell's Bezos at? Last I heard on the news, he was buying a $170 million house. And that's normal, right? That's normal behavior. Jeez Louise. But we are sort of sponsored by Amazon in a way. I'm an Amazon affiliate. So if you guys click through links like that one right there and go buy crap on Amazon, which you were going to buy anyhow, and you may not have to make the monumental road trip that I had to make to go get aqua soil. Then hey, we'll get a little bit of that Bezos money. We'll get like 1 penny at a time. We'll get a little bit of that Bezos cheese. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. Everybody clicking on the links. You guys will notice that I've been trying to pass on things in the community tab that could help you guys out. Maybe you're looking for something, or maybe you had an idea and you're like, man, I tried to Google search it and I couldn't even find the darn thing. I'm trying to help out that way, kind of fill up the community posts with products and things that you might be difficult to find. That's kind of my goal, is to go like, what has proven difficult for people that I have been speaking to for years on YouTube. Let me try and pass on that stuff in a real easy way so that they can go like, oh, I went over to that community tab and I found that weird atomizer for my CO2 that couldn't even figure out the name for it when you're trying to Google search a thing where you're like CO2 bubbles, blah, and all you get is links for soda streams and stuff like that. But that link right there is a great book from Karen Randall, which is The Sunken Gardens. I highly recommend Sunken Gardens for anybody out there. If you don't have that book, highly recommend getting that book. It is a great little detail. Pretty easy read. Pretty easy read to get through, but it's a great detail of how to work on your aquascape and how to set it up from the gate, from right out the gate. And it'll also most likely give you a bunch of other great books to read. Is George Farmer's book out? Let me see. Number 1 in new release, and it isn't even out yet. That's weird. How is it number 1 in new release and it's not even out yet? Doesn't even come out until August 18th. How could it be a number one? How could it be a number 1 release if it's not even out yet? I don't know. I don't know how this works. Where's Bezos? Somebody get Bezos on the phone. We'll find out what's going on. But there's a link to George Farmer's book. I haven't read it yet because it hasn't come out. It's not 7 months from now. So it'll apparently be out 7 months from now, which is exciting. I think something being released 7 months from now is only exciting in pregnancy, right? Am I wrong? I mean, if somebody told me a movie was coming out 7 months from now, I'd be like, cool. Can you tell me 6 months from now? Because in the 7 months, anything could happen to that movie. It could get scrapped, which happens a lot. You guys would be surprised. You guys would be surprised that most of the movie industry makes their money off of movies that never come out. That's what it is. Like never even gets released. There we go. Let me push buttons here. Okay. Okay. That is going to be the end of the show because I have multiple people here. Oh, sorry. We have a super chat here. Crap, we have a super chat. Mr. Exquisity, the $2 super chat says, I got some dwarf crayfish this weekend. Ever had? Yeah, I have had dwarf crayfish, but I'm not allowed to say that because I live in Washington State where they are illegal. Mostly illegal. There are a couple that aren't, but they're mostly illegal here because the environment that I live in here is the perfect environment for dwarf crayfish or self-cloning crayfish or any of that stuff to get out and decimate the environment here. So it really is something that I don't recommend people that live in this part of the world to get in there. And if it was just me keeping dwarf crayfish, then I wouldn't be that worried about it. I wouldn't be worried about them getting out there. But the problem is some people are irresponsible and just flush things down the toilet or whatever. They release them. I've seen lots of YouTubers throw the wrong critter in the wrong environment just because they want to make an exciting video that people will click on, which is bizarre to me, but yeah, that's how it goes. Hey people, great book from Omar. Yeah, great book. And the other book isn't out yet. But Oregon, self-cloning crayfish and stuff like that, they are legal in Oregon. So go figure. I don't know. But they're mostly illegal here. And yeah. Natural Aquarium says, I used your link at the start of the stream to add Karen's book to my shopping cart. It looks like it's certainly worth $17 and some change. Yeah, I don't know what the prices are. I never know what the prices are. People tell me that they show up differently in other markets. I don't know how that works, so I don't normally try to talk about specific prices, but it's right around that price here on my end, but it's a worthwhile book 100%. I would pay at least that price for it, right? Good book. Good book. Definitely a good book. But I want to say thanks to everybody for hitting the like button, for coming into chat. And where did my thing go? Where did it go? There. Where is it? There it is. All right. What was our top number of the day? 493. Top number of the day. Zombie Drummer, Randall Bowman, Sam Malone, The Fish Tank Barn, Danikin Aquatics, The Zen Ginger, and Mr. Exquisite for super chatting today. That really helps out. It really makes it so that when this video gets demonetized, because I probably said something about pregnancy or whatever, and YouTube's freaking out, and we're not going to get ad revenue off of this. Doesn't matter now because we got enough super chats from you guys. It doesn't even matter. And Moonstone KK for becoming a new member. Thank you very much for bringing us up one more number. You guys don't even know like how much I appreciate that kind of support and stuff like that. It's not all about the money. It's all about being able to do projects and stuff, man. You know, I would have done the road trip regardless. This last weekend, it definitely would have looked a lot different if it wasn't for you guys helping out support and the lovely support I get from Victoria and stuff like that with us combining our forces. You know, we combine our incomes, and it means that we're able to raise our daughter and, you know, keep the roof over our head and the gas in the tank and all that kind of stuff. And so it's everything's going pretty well, and we're just going to keep doing our little baby steps to getting better and better at what we're doing. So, you know, every day I get like just a little bit better at something. I try to. Today it was patience. That traffic jam was 6 or 7 miles long. I mean, come on now. That's a long traffic jam. Whew. Creeping and a crawling. I'm going to end up talking with y'all on the other side. You know what I mean? The nap time side. Oh, hold on. Where's my button? No, let me do this.